Ultra rare. Maybe. $1 million? Almost possible. What if I told you a single golden-colored dollar hiding a story could worth thousands, even some say millions, and that with the right eye you could spot it in seconds? It sounds unbelievable, but today we're going to peel back the layers on the 2000D Sacagawea Dollar. We'll look at its design, the history behind it, the mistakes that made some of them rare, the myths about their value, and the reality of what collectors are willing to pay. By the end, you'll know exactly how to tell if the coin in your hand is just a regular dollar, or something much more exciting. The Sacagawea Dollar was introduced at the turn of the millennium. The U.S. Mint wanted something new, something that would replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar that had circulated in the late 1970s and 1980s. The public often confused the Anthony dollar with the quarter because they were so close in size and color. So, the Mint set out to create a coin that was unmistakably different, brighter, more golden, and instantly recognizable. That's where the Sacagawea Dollar comes in. The design is one of the most iconic of any modern U.S. coin. On the obverse, you see Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition across the American West. She is shown in a tender pose, carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back. Glenna Goodacker, the artist who created this design, wanted her portrait to reflect both strength and compassion. Around her you'll find liberty across the top, in God We Trust on the left, the year 2000 on the right, and on the Denver Mint coin, the small D mint mark tucked below the date. It's a soft, glowing portrait that looks more like a medal than a traditional coin. Flip it over, and the reverse carries just as much symbolism. A bald eagle soars gracefully across the surface, wings spread wide, as if in flight across a wide open sky. Designed by Thomas D. Rogers, it was intended to symbolize freedom, courage, and the spirit of the nation. Around the edge you'll see United States of America at the top, and just beneath the eagle's wings, the phrase E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Around the bottom curve of the coin are 17 stars, carefully placed to represent the number of states in the Union at the time Sacagawea assisted Lewis and Clark. At the very bottom, in bold letters, the denomination, $1. Unlike silver or copper coins of earlier generations, this one has a distinctive golden color. Many people thought at first it was made of gold, but in truth, the coin is struck from a manganese-brass alloy bonded to a pure copper core. That's what gives it the warm, golden shine that makes it stand out in your change. Now let's talk about value, because that's where things get interesting. For most examples, the truth is simple. A 2000D Sacagawea dollar is worth $1. In circulated condition, they usually sell for between $1 and $5. In nice uncirculated condition, maybe $10 to $25. At the high end, coins graded MS68, that means nearly flawless, with almost no marks, can bring $400 to $600. And the rarest of the rare, those graded MS69, have sold for a few $1,000s at auction. That's serious money for a coin you might dismiss as pocket change. But this is where myths start to creep in. Over the years, stories have circulated claiming Sacagawea dollars are worth tens of thousands, or even millions. Most of these claims are false. Unless you have an ultra-rare variety, a major mint error, or a promotional piece like the Cheerios Dollar, your Sacagawea dollar won't hit those figures. Still, there are exceptions, and those exceptions are what keep collectors checking every single coin. So what exactly makes a Sacagawea dollar valuable? Errors and varieties. One of the most famous is the double die variety. Imagine looking closely at Liberty or the date and seeing the letters or numbers doubled, like a shadowy second image raised in the metal. That's not damage, that's a minting mistake, and collectors prize them. Strong double dies can bring in hundreds, sometimes even thousands. Another highly collectible error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank wasn't properly aligned with the dies, so part of the design is missing. A small misalignment is interesting but not very valuable. But when the design is dramatically shifted, with large empty space on one side yet still showing the full date and mint mark, the value climbs quickly. Collectors love dramatic errors. Then there are wrong planchet strikes. This is when the mint accidentally strikes the Sacagawea design onto the wrong metal blank, like one intended for a different coin. Imagine finding a Sacagawea struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet, or even a foreign coin planchet. These mistakes are incredibly rare, but when authenticated, they can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Double strikes and multiple strikes are another category. If the coin was struck twice by the dies, and the impressions are misaligned, you'll see two overlapping images. The more dramatic and visible the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Similarly, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or coins with large cuds, raised blobs of metal where part of the die broke, can all be collectible. And of course, we can't forget about the legendary Cheerios Dollar. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint partnered with General Mills to distribute Sacagawea Dollars in boxes of Cheerio cereal as part of a promotion. Most of these were standard dollars, but some had a special reverse design. The eagle's tail feathers had extra detail that was later removed from the circulation strike. These rare Cheerios dollars have sold for $25,000 to $40,000 or more, making them one of the holy grails of modern coin collecting. So, how do you know if your coin is special? First, grab a 10x loupe or magnifier and carefully examine the date and mint mark. Look for doubling, strange shapes, or repunched mint marks. Then inspect the rim and edge. Sacagawea dollars are supposed to have a plain, smooth edge. If you see reading or unexpected text, something is off. Turn to the reverse and look at the eagle's feathers and the stars. Doubling or die cracks can often appear here. Finally, weigh and measure the coin. It should be about 8.1 grams and 26.5 millimeters across. Anything significantly different could mean a wrong planchet or counterfeit. Collectors should also be cautious. There are a lot of exaggerated claims online about Sacagawea dollars, and many coins advertised as rare turn out to be normal examples. Beware of cleaned or polished coins too. Cleaning a coin destroys its natural surfaces and kills its collector value, even if it has a mint error. If you do find something that looks promising, your best bet is to get it authenticated. For modest errors, a local coin shop or club can help. But for major potential rarities, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate it, grade it, and place it in a sealed slab. That slab provides buyers with confidence, which almost always increases the final sale price. When it comes time to sell, your options depend on the coin. For truly valuable coins, say, dramatic off-centers, major double dies, or wrong planchet errors, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are the way to go. They reach the serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. For mid-range coins, eBay can work if you provide clear photos, accurate descriptions, and proof of grading if available. From the photos you shared earlier, your 2000D Sacagawea looks like a normal circulated piece. I don't see any dramatic errors at first glance, no off-center strike, no obvious clip, no major doubling. But subtle varieties can hide in the details, and those require close-up images of the date, mint mark, and eagle feathers to be sure. If you upload sharper close-ups, I can walk you through what to look for. The 2000D Sacagawea dollar is usually just a $1 coin. But in some cases, with the right error, variety, or condition, it can be worth hundreds, even thousands. Its design honors Sacagawea's bravery and the spirit of exploration, while its errors and varieties add a thrilling twist for collectors. So the next time you see that golden dollar glinting in your change, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Because once in a while, what looks like an ordinary coin can turn out to be something truly extraordinary. And while the 2000D Sacagawea dollar may seem common, it's a coin that played a big role in modern U.S. coinage. It marked the return of the dollar coin after the Susan B. Anthony dollar, but this time with a golden color and smooth edge meant to set it apart. Collectors still talk about how bold and fresh the design looked when it was first released, with Glenna Goodacre's portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. That human touch gave the coin a warmth and story that few U.S. coins had shown before. Another fascinating aspect is how quickly errors from this series captured attention. The most famous is the Cheerios Dollar, a special version placed in cereal boxes as a promotion. Those coins had extra detail in the eagle's tail feathers, and today, finding one in perfect condition can mean a payday of thousands of dollars. Stories like these are what fuel the imagination of treasure hunters and collectors alike. The idea that something as simple as a box of cereal or a handful of change could hold a hidden fortune. Even for regular 2000D issues, condition plays a huge role. A coin pulled straight from a bankroll and kept untouched for years can command far more than one that has passed through vending machines for decades. Professional grading can make the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth hundreds, depending on how flawless its surfaces and luster appear under magnification. Collectors also prize coins with unusual character. For instance, weak strikes, odd toning, or unusual planchet flaws sometimes bring a premium. While these may not be dramatic mint errors, they give a coin personality and a uniqueness that can appeal to the right buyer. The beauty of coin collecting is that there's room for both the everyday collector who enjoys the history and the specialist who chases rare varieties. So if you're holding on to a 2000D Sacagawea Dollar, don't just toss it in a drawer without another thought. Take the time to examine it closely, learn about its history, and compare it to known varieties and errors. Who knows? That coin might just be more than change. It could be a small piece of history, a collector's gem, or even the start of your own journey into the fascinating world of numismatics.